Welcome back everybody. So this is probably the most exciting video for you and everyone that is watching, is how to design your own training block, okay? And the block that we're going to be looking at is going to be 6 weeks long, and we're looking at the peak phase, okay? Now the type of block that we got here is more designed at powerlifting, so a squat, a bench or a deadlift. You wouldn't do this necessarily for Olympic lifting or clean and jerk, okay? Now when making your own block, you need to work backwards to the beginning and then beginning back to the end, okay? And the reason why we do this, because if you start going 97%, 95, 90% at the end bit, and you see those big weights, you're going to be more cautious on the reps and sets that you design yourself. But if you just work from the beginning, you'll be like, yep, that's easy, that's easy, that's easy, and you'll be like, yeah, I can do this, and you kind of get cocky towards the end. But if you work backwards to the beginning to end, you're going to be more wary of the numbers you're actually going to be doing. Now that we've done that, we need to first establish your 8 RPE. Now, if you don't know what RPE is, it is rate perceived exertion. It's a scale measured out of 1 to 10. So if I said, okay, you're going to do one set of 1 at an 8 RPE, that means the 1 rep that you do, you need to make sure you have 2 reps left in the tank. Because again, 8, you add 2, you get 10. It's measured out 1 to 10. Cool, you're with me. So we did a 1 RM. And we got 200 kilo, remember, it's at 8 RPE, so it's not a proper 1 RM, but it actually is. And do you know why? Because that 1 RM that person can do every single day. Okay, and what I mean by this is that when they're stressed, when they're hungry, when they're tired, mentally down, not having regular sex for whatever, this RPE at 8, they can always do that 1 RM. So that is their true 1 rep max, okay? Now, they have produced a 200 kilo 8 RPE 1 RM, okay? And I'm like, okay, so I saw what they did, I saw what went wrong and what went right. And in the first cycle, which is 4 weeks long, we're gonna work on building form, okay? And why 70%? Like I said in the last week's video, is that 70% is that sweet spot, okay? Where it is heavy enough to cause adaptation, where you can become stronger, but then it is light enough for the athlete or you to think about all the things that I've given you. So all the cues that I've said, okay, you're going to do this and this and this in your ascent and your, well, descent and ascent. Now that we're going to be working more on form, we're going to spend more time under the bar. Now, what does this mean? It means we're taking away all your single joint or multi-joint accessories you do for your bench, your deadlift and your squat. So if we do squats for your first main sets, we're doing squats again. Same for deads and bench. Well, so for 4 weeks, we're going to spend more time under the bar, building form and working at 70%. Okay? Now, just for this, Alexa, what is 70% of 200?
70% of 200 is 140.
Cool. So for 4 weeks, this person is working at 140 kilo. And as we're working at 70%, we are building up to that 30 rep volume. So that means, like I said in the previous video, we're not going to do 30 reps straight away. We're not going to do that 30 in the first week. We're going to build up to that 30 total volume at the end of the 4 weeks. Now, once we've done cycle 1, we're going to go into cycle 2. Now, we're going to stay at the 140 kilo mark, okay? But we're going to take the volume up, okay? And we're going to take it to a 65+% volume. So that means doing 35 more reps. No, not on top of the 30, doing 35 reps and more. So your sets and reps will change now. And again, you do not do the 35 on the first week. On the 8th week, you want to be doing 35 and more reps as a total volume. So that's what we do with cycle 2. But instead of spending more time under the bar, we're still going to do that. Margot, I'm doing a video. But we're going to do some different variations on your down set. So this means we're going to be doing tempo, pauses, different variations of squatting, whether you're starting from the hold position, where you can have spotters out. I've completely forgotten the name of it, it's good. But yeah, so doing different variations. Now, what would you do in these variations? So if you struggle with going down the descent part, whether that's in the bench and the squat, is we're going to go slower. So that means we're going to take off a little bit of weight and we're going to go slower on the way down. That means we're going to be working on tempo and pauses, okay? Now, you put these in on your weak points. So if you struggle with the descent in your squat and your bench, or the ascent in those movements, we're going to spend more time doing that. So being stuck there, doing a pause, or just simply going slower up and down. So doing 4 second down, 4 second up, just getting you used to the motion. Now, we're not doing this at 140 kilo, we're going to be doing it at 100, okay? Something where you can really fixate on tightening up, holding that abdominal pressure, and really thinking about everything. Your knees, your tripod in your foot, etc. So that's what you would do for your down set, for your different variations. Now, you can do this on your second day, depending what your frequency of days that you train on your peak phase. It might be 3 or 2. So you can just do your main squat day, where you're going to be working at 140 kilo, building up the volume, or you can do that and then have your down sets where it is a different variation, or like I was saying, have your main day of squats and then your second day of squats, have your different variations, just giving your body a bit more of a breather and your CNS to chill. Now that we've done that, taking it up to the 35 rep range, obviously with 140, now we're going to move over to cycle 3. Now cycle 3, where it gets a little bit more fun. This is where we're working at 80%. So 80% of 200 kilo is 160. So we've just gone up by 20 kilo jump. Now, would seem big, but it's okay because we're basing it off this number here. Now, in cycle 3, it's more just doing the reps, okay? Just just going through the motions. Now, what you're going to add in is a practice day, and a practice day is getting you ready for when you do cycle 4. Hold on. Mogul starring in the video as the second head coach. Anyway, she meows like that when she's getting no attention. Anyway, so your practice day. You put these in for when you get ready to do your 90%. So you're not going to be working at the 80% volume. Obviously that sort of like 4 to 6 reps per set. You're going to be doing more 4 sets of 1, 4 sets of 2, 5 sets of 2. Really, really low reps. So when you come to your 90%, you've gone through your routine of your setup, you step back, boom, and drop in and going. So same with your bench and your deadlift. It's just getting you used to going through the motions. Same as this part here, spending more time under the bar, but instead you do a practice day and a lot lower reps. And the sets don't need to meet the 80% demand. Okay, they really don't, so don't worry about it. Do you want to come back on camera? This is what we do with cycle 3. Now, obviously with the 80% part is that you're going to be working up to 20 reps. Alright, now again, you don't do that on the first week, it goes up each week. So for example, 5 sets of 2 on the first week, and then 4 sets of 3, and then 4 fours, and then 5 fours. Now, if you want to take it up a little bit, you can make each week a little bit bigger. So you can end on 6 fours, for example. So obviously then you've gone up to 24 reps, making your 80% probably maybe 77%. So obviously you've got a little bit stronger. We're now 3 months into it, cycle 4. Okay, this is where the real nit and gritty is coming in. Okay, so when going into cycle 4, this is when the real determination really needs to kick in. So everything we have learned through cycle 1, cycle 2 and cycle 3, we now all put it together and we throw it at your last 4 weeks. Okay, now you're going to be working at very low volume, literally. So for the first couple of weeks, you're going to do 90%, okay, and you're going to be doing 4 to 6 totally volume, totally. And then week later, the next 2 weeks, you're going to be working at 95, building up to that 1 RM, and you're going to be doing 1 or 3 rep volume totally. And you're going to be doing heavy triples and heavy singles. And the reason why we keep everything so low, okay, is that you're working on your setup, because the biggest thing with everyone, and that is being a professional compete athlete in a strength sport or just a gym goer, is that when you have that little voice in your head, this is going back to the episode where I talked about barbell psychology, is that when you feel the weight on your back or in your hands when offloading, then you get that little voice going, sorry mate, this is way too heavy, it's not happening. And you actually listen to it, you won't perform your weight and you won't perform the rep. So this is why we have these practice days. This is why we work on the setup, is that when it comes to it, obviously it's your job as a coach to be telling your client and your athlete that you've done this 1,000 times, to reassure them, you keep a hold of them, keep a grip of them to carry them through. Now, with the cycle 4, you're obviously the 4 to 6, so you're going to be doing, for example, like 2 sets of 2, or 2 sets of 3, 3 sets of 2, 3 sets of 1, 2 sets of 1, 1 sets of 1, and then boom, 1 RM. Okay, that's how your cycle 4 works. But we have just gone from 1 week up to 16 weeks. Now, in this block, I haven't put any designated deload weeks. Now, this is up to your own fatigue management. Funnily enough, that is what next week's video is all about. And obviously, I haven't gone over each individual week. We're just looking at it as a general scale. Now, this is how you design your own block. And this is specifically, oh, itchy nose. This is specifically for peak. Okay, you wouldn't do this for your prep, your off season, your meso. This is for peak. The way we go up in weight and the way we get to that 1 RM, it's very, very aggressive. You couldn't carry this on for a long period of time. Your body would simply just go, okay, which it did to me. So, learn by my mistakes and other athletes' mistakes. Not calling myself an athlete. But yeah, this is what we do, and that's what we do at peak phase. So, alright, that is the end of the video, everyone. Now, I hope it brought you some insight on how you can design up your own blocks. And again, this is only for peak, okay? The way we look at this and the way we progress and weight is very aggressive. You only do this for a short period of time, okay? 16 weeks is a good little period. You can go for 20, 24 maybe, but nothing really longer than that. Anyway, next video is going to be about fatigue management, because I didn't put any deloads in or go over each individual week and talk about the psychology for an athlete within their block. Now, Christmas is in a few days, and obviously for a lot of us, we're in tier 2s and tier 3s and not allowed to house swap and everything. So just remember, I know you are going to be house swapping, so remember, stay safe around your loved ones, don't take stupid risks, and most of all, lead by example, and have a very, very Merry Christmas.
Doesn't get you there. And if you want to take the easy road, it won't take you to where you want.